Welcome to Ricky's Historical Tidbits. In this video, I'm going to take you to Merced, California, where the United States Wartime Civil Control Administration set up a Japanese internment camp during World War II. In response to the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066 on February 19, 1942. The order gave the military power to create internment camps for people who may be a threat to the sanctity of the United States. For the most part, that was the Japanese. However, little tidbit here, some Italians and also some Germans were also put into camps as well, but not as massive or as terrible as the internment of the Japanese. Beginning on the 26th of March in 1942, construction began to repurpose this fairground into a temporary prison camp. Within 11 days, working around the clock, 1,000 men and some high school students built the Merced Assembly Center. Barns were made into living spaces, a total of 200 barracks, 40 showers, 30 toilets, 11 mess halls, 5 laundries, and surrounding it all was a 4.5-foot tall barbed wire fence. The Merced Assembly Center was built to imprison a total of 4,669 Japanese Americans, who were brought in from Merced, Livingston, Turlock, Cortez, Sebastopol, Yuba City, Yolo, Walnut Grove, Colusa, Winters, Modesto, Woodland, Santa Rosa, Chico, Marin, Napa, and Cortland. The Wartime Civil Control Administration running the center had 160 soldiers guarding the Japanese prisoners. They set up temporary schools for the approximately 1,000 children and set up a few churches and had sports and entertainment to make it more bearable for the prisoners. This camp was one of 10 built in the United States and was closed on September 15, 1942. Most of the Japanese were then sent to the Amachi camp in Colorado for the remainder of the war, while some were allowed to work as sponsored laborers in agriculture. Some were eventually put into the military to fight in the war. Now, what is left of the Merced Assembly Center is just this memorial here, dedicated to the Japanese that were imprisoned here. History is always an interesting thing to study. Hindsight is always 20/20, and eventually President Ronald Reagan signed the Civil Liberties Act as a huge apology on behalf of the United States' decisions during wartime. Another thing I feel the need to point out, not to make any sort of justification, but Mexico and Canada did the same thing. This was not unique only to the United States. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new, and now it's your turn to share this information with your friends and family. The easiest way to do that is by clicking the share button. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe on YouTube or like the Facebook page.